What's going on, fellas, and welcome back to the channel. And today I got a picture perfect Tesla trade that I actually took yesterday, which I want to show you, where we made a decent $270 profit in just about 7 minutes, and in literally just the first 30 minutes into market open. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, guys, so first things first, I do want to say, if you did see my last video, I announced the new small account challenge, which I will be starting to upload at the beginning of next month. So I'll start recording like after Easter, basically. And yeah, for the time being, I've just been trading in my small Charles Schwab account on Thinkorswim. So again, not taking big size. You'll see again in this trade, it wasn't big size at all, making like 60%, which is really nice. That just shows you don't need to put like a ton of capital into your trades. You just have to have proper risk reward and just have a decently large enough exit strategy. You know what I mean? So yeah, with that out of the way, let's go into the trade. And obviously this is Friday, March 22nd. The trade was yesterday, the 21st. So as we always like to do, let's just start on the daily here and see what Tesla's been doing. And obviously not so hot. At all. Bad for Tesla investors, but I mean, let me just say, if we go to the weekly here, this probably does have room, like maybe back to 100, and I'll probably consider buying some shares, to be honest. So maybe, we'll see. Still have a ways to go, but let's just go into what we were looking at on the larger time frame. So let's actually try and go on the 1 hour. So you can see this was yesterday, and on this downtrend, you can see that Tesla did put in a big bottom here. Obviously, it was a little break and retest, got down to this monthly support, which I'll show you in a second, and then actually got above it, gapped up in the pre-market, and in the morning, I was almost bullish on Tesla. We can go to the 5-minute chart, and here we go. So with this action, I was actually thinking that it could do an opening range, get past the 179, 180, and then hit that weekly support, and then maybe come back down. But if we zoom in here, you could see a big indecisive first 5-minute candle on Tesla, and then 3 wicks up here with no conviction to the upside. I mean, that's rare on Tesla. And this was obviously after the FOMC, and then the market had a big run, right? But I knew we had to pull back. So I'm like, I was already had a bearish bias on the overall market, which led me to believe that Tesla could be the weakest of them all, because out of the Mag 7, this has been like the worst performing one, you know? So we could drop this down to the 1-day, 1 minute, and go back here. I mean, just look at that on the one. Insane amount of wicks. So I was looking, so my game plan was basically after these wicks, I'm looking for some sort of opening range to take out the low. If we go to the 184-hour chart, you'll see why I have this white line and why it was important. It was just signified by this low here, these lows that I showed you earlier, this high here. And I'm like, basically, if it could come back down under that level, it looks like there's more downside to be had, which was true. So let's go back to the 1 minute, and my entry was basically right off of this candle here, once it had a massive rejection off of that 9 moving average. Looking for that move down through the whole psychological area of 175 and also previous support. And I'll even show you where my exit strategy was, which honestly, I basically ticked the bottom here, and you'll see how I did that. And there were actually some levels to hit lower, but anyways, you can see Tesla did eventually get back down there, but just chopped around for the rest of the day. So, and if I held, especially on a Thursday, weekly options expiration, my premiums would have gotten killed. Plus, I would have probably stopped out up here, but yeah, that was the idea on Tesla. I mean, you could even see, and this is actually another thing that gave me huge conviction. We see the IV here. When we were in this area making these wicks, I was looking for Tesla to hit the upside, right? Look at the IV moving down. You don't want to see that, but as it came into the downside, you can see the volume starting to pour in on the contracts following downside direction. You can see the move down and the IV moving up here. Yeah, that was a good read. Bring this back to the daily. Without further ado, let's get into the trade. All right, so here we are on Tesla. Let's actually give it a pause real quick. You can see that Tesla was already looking to go for that opening range down. So I'm pretty sure I load the 172.50 puts right there. Bang. And now just waiting for an entry. But again, I like that Tesla hit that 175, got back up with no momentum whatsoever, came back down, rising IV. So let's skip ahead here. Oh, here we go. Let's play that back. All right, pause here. Look at that rejection off of the 9. Are you kidding me? I mean, that's what you love to see. Buyers tried to push this thing up, and as soon as they hit the 9, sellers like, nah, you're coming down. So my entry was just going to be a candle under candle of the previous candle, so right about here. So as soon as it broke the low of this candle, that was my entry. My stop was just going to be a close above the 9. Let's play. Boom. Bought 5 there, anticipated the break. Got the break of the previous candle. Seems like we're in the driver's seat already. Oh, actually, maybe I do buy 2 more. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. So I bought 2 more there on that drop. So let's skip ahead here. New 1 minute. Bang. Look at that. And you could even see on the 5-minute chart, this green line represents the closing price of yesterday, which means that if we're above this green line, we're green on the day. If we're below this green line, we're red, right? So that 5-minute candle was hovering right around this green line. And once it turned red on the day, that's when the volume started to pour in. Let's press play. So we're along 7 and now just looking for an opening range to the downside. Let's skip ahead here. There we go. New 1 minute. It just keeps surging down. You can even see on the daily that big topping tail there. And obviously this 175 was the decider. Opening range should be coming in a second here. You can see the rising IV again. Actually, I do remember we had a bit of trouble. Yeah, you can see the little bit of you can see the wick down, but still no need to sell. We were still way under the 9. Trend is good, and there's the break. So I actually sell 3 on the ask there. We got filled. That was my first partial. So we're long 4 still. And once we got that opening range, and you'll see the continuation here, you can see the volume starting to pour in on the individual contract as well. Look at that. Now we get a close under the opening range. Fantastic sign for more downside. A little bit of a wiki movement, but still we're under the 9. Oh, let's play that back. So as you can see, it went green. Immediately flashed red. I mean, that's just a huge sign that sellers are absolutely in control here. And you can see before this candle closes, it closes at the low of the candle, basically. And then it just dumps from here on out. And at this point, I'm just trying to look for exits here. So you can see me go to the 5-minute over here to looking for something. And you can see, let's pause right here. I find an imbalance of price on this 5-minute candle. As you can see, this 5-minute candle right here has no wick on the bottom. And usually when candles have no bottom or top wicks, it means that there's an imbalance, because as soon as the candle opened, it was all, in this case, buyers, right? Like there was no sellers present on the opening of the new candle. So when it goes, the market tends to actually come back down and fill that price to make a fair market. So I was like, okay, that's my target. I drew a line there. You'll see in a second. I had to move it up there. And I like my imbalances and my gaps yellow. So I change it there. And there you go. You can see it on the 1 minute. Now this is my new exit. So let's play it here and fast forward. Tesla continuing to come down. We're still long the 4. As you can see, beautiful looking candle right there. Let's keep going. I'm pretty sure I sell 2 like just before the break. All right, new 1 minute. Yep, I sell 2 there. And there we go. We tag the imbalance. But what do you notice? This 1 minute candle doesn't have a wick on top, which means I knew we had to go back up. So I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna have to get out here. I'm just gonna wait for Tesla to get a little bit more continuation. See if we could stretch this candle. I sell on the ask, and we're out full. And you can see me realizing and trying to show that this candle has no wick on the top, which was an excellent move because obviously Tesla did end up going back up. And that was it. Finished the day one and done, up 269. And I was super stoked with that trade. And that was the one and done Tesla trade, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. And if you enjoyed it, and if you learned something too, drop a like, drop a sub, drop a comment. Let me know what you guys thought about the trade. And also, if you're excited and if you're going to tune in to the new small account challenge coming in about 2 weeks. It should be really fun, guys. So again, thank you so much. And I'll see you fellas next week. Take it easy.